Animal crackers. Love me some animal crackers. But the question of today is, do vegetarians eat animal crackers? That's what I want to know. You know, hon, I had an RV newbie ask me, how do you prevent skid marks in the toilet? So I said, make sure you got water in it first. Lift up the lever, put water in it. Like this. And no more skid marks. None. You know what I was thinking, babe? Ever since I retired, that's the only payday I've been getting. So I got the king size because I'm hoping to get a big check. You know what, hon? Sitting here waiting at this red light, I was just thinking, where did they come up with this thing called tiptoe? I got fingertips, I don't have toe tips. Where did that come from? You know what, hon? That was good. Well, why is it every time we go to a restaurant, when we walk in, they say, oh, welcome to such and such, how many in your party? I tell them we're not having a party. We just come here to eat. So they walk us to the table, take our order, write down on a little tablet that says guest check. I keep telling them we don't take checks, but they insist on giving it to us. What's up with that? Well, went to the store today because I was going to buy me a couple of pair of jeans. Maybe a couple of pair of jeans because I have a hole in this one. And I'm not going to mention the name of the store, and it's not the Waltons, but they're all over the place. And anyway, they have them on sale for $17.99 a pair. That's a lie. I went and got a pair, and she told me it was $17.99 for one. And I told her, I don't know where you went to school, but when I went to school, a pair is more than one. So she proceeds to tell me that the reason why they call them a pair is because I have two legs. Well, I got two arms, but they don't call this a pair of shirt. You know what, babe? What? We know somebody that fell on the ice when they had the ice storm in Texas. Snowstorm. Fell on the ice, busted her knee, had surgery, and the doctor told him after surgery to make sure you keep it on ice. Isn't that how they got in that predicament in the first place? So I guess if you get a sunburn, they tell you, that's okay, just keep a heat pad on it. Makes no sense. Hey, babe. Remember when we were talking about we needed a rig with a bath and a half and how much we missed the bath and a half?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to look at rigs any longer because I solved the problem. So come here, check it out. There's our half bath. We ain't getting another rig. Problem solved. Man, that was weird. I walked into the bank to get some cash. I'm looking to the right for the withdrawal slips. The teller said, can I help you? I said, I'm looking for withdrawal slips. She said, oh, we don't have withdrawal slips. We're going paperless. I said, what? So I'm going to walk out of here with a bunch of change. And she said, what? Oh, no, we still have bills. I said, good. And she said, if you give me a driver's license and your identification and your account, I can help you. I said, okay. So she said, what do you need? I said, I want to take some money out of my checking account. She said, okay, well, what denomination would you like? I said, Catholic will be fine. And she said, no, sir, what I meant. I said, I know what you meant. I'm just joking. She said, what size bills would you like? I said, about this big so they fit my wallet. She still didn't laugh. People ain't got no sense of humor. What's up with that? Well, you're not going to believe how that went over. I went into the post office to ask for my forever stamps back. I bought a book of forever stamps and used them and never got them back. So she proceeds to tell me that you don't get them back. And I asked her, well, I guess the government doesn't know what the word forever means because they're forever. If I bought a 10-cent stamp in 1970, it'd been 10 cents forever. I don't get it. You know what I was thinking about, hon?
What, babe?
We were watching that movie last night, and right before the movie started, it came up with these big letters that said, this movie has been modified to fit your TV set. Now, how do they know what size set I have? We got 3 TVs. How do they know what size we got? Okay, been on my feet all day, and my feet are tired. They're yawning, look. So, why is it you park a car on the driveway and you drive the car on the parkway? Thank you. What's up with that? Well, I hate going to the doctor's office for the first time because they always want you to fill out all that paperwork and then they ask for your driver's license and insurance card. She said, "Sir, I need a copy of your driver's license and insurance card." I said, "I don't have a copy of my driver's license." And she said, "You don't have a copy of your driver's license?" I said, "No, I got the original." And she goes, "Oh, well, I can make copies for you. Why don't they just say that? Why do they ask for a copy?" I don't get it. What's up with that? Hey, babe. Why is it when I got pulled over by the police officer earlier for going in a one-way, I told him I was only going one way, and he proceeded to tell me, "You're going the wrong way." Now, how does he know which way I'm going? What's up with that? You know what I don't understand? How restaurants and fast food places can have number 1 and number 2s on their menu. And please don't make number 3 a combo. What's up with that? You know what I don't understand? How these RV parks can charge $45 to $65 a day with all their amenities that they supposedly provide are closed. So what are you paying for? I think it should be half price or less. And I think if you're just going to stay in a park overnight, it should be $10, $15 at the most because you're not using anything. You're asleep. What's up with that? Is it just me? Or is my foot arch the only one that itches when you drive? It's just driving me crazy. It knows I can't scratch it. Why does it do that? What's up with that? Hey, we're here at a 5 and dime store in Branson, Missouri, and we're looking around and I see this sign that says, "Please ask for acetance." I'm kind of confused and I don't want to ask. What's up with that? Hey, we're here at Coeur d'Alene Lake in Washington, and we're standing next to the mongoloid moose. Look at the head on that thing. Hey, Rocky, it's me, Bullwinkle. Got a mouse on the end of his nose. What's up with that? Okay, we're at this rest stop, and we see this where somebody found a pair of glasses, and they got it taped up so if you lose your glasses. The problem with that is that if you're not wearing them, you won't see that. What's up with that? Okay, I'm on the salmon stream recovery area, and it says to stay on the trails, but this is where the salmons are supposed to swim upstream. Where's the stream? No water. Where's the salmon?
Where are we going, babe?
Well, we're going to Walmart. One thing that pisses me off more than anything else is a thief. Apparently somebody needed our barbecue grill brush more than we did. I just used it the other day. Now it's gone. You can afford to pay an RV park to stay in, but you can't buy your own $15 cleaning brush for your pit. How pathetic is that? If that's the way you guys want to do things, you really need to look at your sad life and get a job or something. Stop stealing from those that worked for it and paid for it. What's up with that? What does Arnold say in the Nutcracker Museum? Ow, 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 ow. I guess that's it. What's up with that?
Say outside is who I be. Say, I got my G-Spot boys with me, you dig? Chris Torment and my boy Slick. We got this new dance for y'all, you dig? You dig? And you wild, do the stanky leg.
Okay. You're gonna
Shorts for men? That'll never happen. I can't see a man wearing short shorts and their saggy sacks hanging out.
Sure you don't want to wear these short shorts?
No.
That's a no.
No.
What's that you see?
Frank V. Vanderstocken. Yeah. We watching Stocken, he came right out.
You came right out.
Came right out of the building here. Hey, if your saggy sacks are wet, try these dryer balls. These will probably help you get the moisture out. Okay, this morning we're on a bypass road. I'm doing the speed limit, 60. As soon as I get up to the intersection, a car pulls out in front of me. Now, this is the third time already within the last 15 minutes. Pulls out right in front of me, so I have to slam on the brakes, only for them to put on their brakes and make a left. I don't get that. And what's the deal with the yield sign? Do they not put that on the driver's license test anymore? People don't know what a yield sign means. It means look first, then go. Don't just go. And then the other thing, your blinker. Just because you put your blinker on doesn't give you right of way. You need to look. Don't go all the way from the left lane all the way across to the exit. And then people coming onto the on-ramp. You people that come onto the on-ramp, you're supposed to come on with the flow of the traffic the same speed. I'm not supposed to slow down to let you in. What's up with that? This is what I hate about fuel lines in the diesel lane. You got the truck in front of you, you're done filling up, and the guy's inside shopping, taking a shower or taking a dump or BSing in there, and then he comes back and he sits in his truck for another 10 or 15 minutes and holds you up. What's up with that? Okay, we just came back from the dealership getting an oil change on the truck. Then as we're waiting for it, service writer comes out and asks us if we want our tires rotated. So I said, tire rotation? No, they rotate when I drive it. Now, if you're asking about taking them off and moving them around, that's something completely different. As far as tire rotation, I got that. All right, well, it's supposed to be 108 degrees today in Texas. So we're loading up on water just like everybody else. So they're running out quick. This store has a sale 3 for $9, but they ran out of those, so they got a different brand, 2 for $6. And so the little girl tells her mom, they only have 2 for $6. They're out of 3 for $9. She says, I don't want those. They don't have no more 3 for $9s. What's up with that? Okay, we've been to a lot of RV parks with Area A, Area B, Area C. But I don't think any RV park should say have areas as a C section. I thought C section was something completely different. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just me. But what's up with that? Well, we're just sitting out here this morning, drinking our coffee. Got a pretty good breeze coming through. Sitting relaxing, watching the birds. And then we get this smell from the sewer. So we get a smell from, when the wind blows, from ass browns to hash browns. Somebody's cooking breakfast. What's up with that? Okay, so we're still looking at San Antonio emissions, and we came up to this sign that says men working. I don't see anybody working. There's never a woman working sign. What's up with that? So we're in San Antonio, Texas, and we're going around looking at the emissions in San Antonio, and I'm just wondering, because it has the United States Department of Interior takes care of all the exteriors. Is that just for the government? I'm confused. What's up with that? Okay, we just stopped by Terry's Signature Tamales. I looked at the package and none of them are signed. So I opened the package and I'm going to look at the tamales and I don't see any of these signed. So, very moist. This is pork and jalapeno. But they're not signed. It's supposed to be signature. What's up with that? Here's a melism for you, Bill. I'm going to do some shaved ice, and I'm going to put it in my drink. I'm pretty sure that's how you get shaved ice with this razor. If it's not, what's up with that? So here's what we've been running into lately. We go to a restaurant to eat, and the maitre d' tells us the wait's going to be a half hour to 45 minutes. And I look in there, and there's hardly anybody in there. So I ask her, why the long wait? And she says, well, sir, we're short-handed. And so I said, well, it's not our problem you're hiring short-handed people and they can't carry plates. And she said, well, no, sir, we're short-staffed. I said, well, it's not our problem. You're hiring short people and they can't reach up at the window and grab the plates to bring it to us. Now, I get it. People don't want to work and they're used to staying home and getting paid. But blaming it on short people and short-handed people, what's up with that? Okay, let's talk about car batteries. Recently had to get a car battery, and we bought a 5-year battery. Of course, it only lasted like a year, and so we took it back in to get a replacement battery, and they want to charge us for a year usage. I bought the battery. I didn't lease it. If I wasn't going to use it, I wouldn't have bought it. How can they get away with charging you usage for using your own battery? That's kind of a ripoff to me. What's up with that? Hey, babe.
Hey.
You know what we've been passing quite a bit in our travels?
Yeah.
RV resorts. And they're not resorts. They're RV POSs. To me, a resort has a swimming pool, a hot tub, a volleyball court, a tennis court, maybe a pickleball court, a place to work out, you know, extra barbecue pits on the patio. That's a resort. The places we see, if they got a cornhole game, that's a resort. If they got a swing set, that's a resort. They're using the word resort lightly. I think they need to redefine what the word resort means in the dictionary, or these RV places need to look it up. What's up with that? Okay, so this is another little short. Looking at the dumpster, just brought the trash, and the sign says if the dumpster is full, take it to another dumpster, which seems logical. But don't lay on the ground. Shouldn't it say don't lay it on the ground or don't lay the trash on the ground? I'm not going to lay on the ground if the dumpster's full. What's up with that? Okay, so we're at the Social Security office. I filed for Social Security and they told me that I'm not a U.S. citizen.
What?
So now I have to go in there and prove that I'm a U.S. citizen. Of course, they never said anything about it. The 46 years they've been taking money from me. What's up with that? Okay, maybe it's just me, but does that say solo? It's only one. Why can't I buy one? Why do I have to buy it in packages? Can't I just buy one plate, one bowl, one cup? No, they all got to be in packages. Why? It says solo. I only need one. What's up with that? Okay, can somebody tell me why when you want to do something online or on your phone, whatever website you're asks you if you're a computer, it tells you to verify if you're a robot or a computer, but it's a computer asking you if you're a computer. What's up with that? I'm killing flies.
What are you
I'm
doing?
killing flies.
But they live outside. Why are you killing them outside?
I'm tired of them being on my seat and on my table.
Look at all these flies you've killed. Babe, you massacred them.
Hey, I could have pulled their wings off and told them to walk home. What's up with that? You know your saggy sacks are dragging when you got smoking nuts. What's up with that? Okay, 2 things you need to know about black tank. One is sewer and water runs downhill. Second, most importantly, never bite your nails. What's up with that? Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? What's up with that? Nice little stroke clouds on the face. Make it happy, happy, happy. A little bit of branches right here. Clouds going everywhere. Flowers everywhere. Okay, well, we're at the courthouse today, getting all the documentations so I can prove that I'm an American citizen. What's up with that? Okay, we just stopped at a Dollar General in Fruitvale, Texas. And I asked the lady in there if this is where they make Fruit Loops. And she said no. What's up with that?
Hey, babe.
No.
There's a chip on the windshield.
We got a chip on the windshield?
Yeah.
You're kidding. Sure do. There it is. What's up with that? Okay, we went to this sleepy little town, and that's not down around San Antonio, if you've heard that song. We went to a little town called Mineola, Texas. And if you want to know how to make moonshine legal, put it in some peanut brittle. What's up with that? Okay, can you believe I came to CVS to pick up my 11 cents prescription, and they wouldn't take my CVS discount card? What's up with that? Okay, so we stopped here at the Dollar Tree in Nacogdoches, Texas, but you go inside, it's $1.25, and now they have an aisle that has items for $3 and $5. So the cashier says it's a Dollar Tree Plus. So what happened to the dollar stuff? What's up with that? They asked me if I wanted a car wash. I got a truck. What's up with that? Living butter lettuce. What am I supposed to do? Kill it before I eat it? What's up with that? Okay, today we stopped and got diesel fuel at a QT for $3.77 a gallon. And as we left, not 2 minutes down the road, there was another fuel station that was selling it for $1 and a penny more. And people were in line buying it. It's like my dad used to say, no dollars, no cents. What's up with that? Come to Texas, they said. It's nice and warm, they said. What's up with that? Okay, gotta love Texas winter weather. We're in an RV park with full hookups, and we're boondocking. We have no electricity and no water. What's up with that? How long does it take to get a prescription at the drive-thru at CVS? Prescription's been ready for a day. And then we're behind this guy. It's already like 14 minutes. What's up with that? Elevated shoes. I heard of that, but elevated restrooms? Who puts restrooms in the elevator? Is that for short people? What's up with that? A grouchy German is a sauerkraut. Yeah. What's up with that? That never took my damn headlight out. This is what happens when a buzzard plays chicken with a Ford pickup truck. Buzzard 0, truck 1. Although we did get some damage, new headlight assembly on order. What's up with that? Can you believe 20 bucks for 6 saggy sack holders? I mean, I like Fruit of the Loom because I like to keep all my fruit in the same basket. But 20 bucks for the saggy sack holders? Oh, and get this. It's eco-friendly. You know what that means, right? It filters gas. What's up with that? Okay, we're at the movie theater and we brought our own popcorn. What's up with that? I just want to know why a bunch of full-timers come to the shower houses to go to the bathroom. I mean, I see them all the time, just prairie dog into the bathroom. What's up with that? Okay, toilet bowl cleaner. The works or the squirts? What's up with that? Okay, we just got back from Grand Prairie, Texas, where we had our bus worked on at Marathon there. And while we were staying there on a Friday night, because we left Saturday morning, a Class A came in to drive around and park. Of course, it's only supposed to be for Marathon customers because they have hookups outside and inside the gate. Well, he came in right after us, drove around. He was there for about 30 minutes. Then he drove outside and parked along the side. And then what does he do? He hooks up, he brings his satellite dish out, brings his internet dish out, brings out his barbecue pit, brings out both of their chairs, brings out a lawn table. Those are the idiots that make it look bad for everybody else because they're just making a home. What's up with that? Okay, just looked at the weather before travel day, and one weather station says it's going to be partly sunny, and the other weather station said it's going to be partly cloudy. Can somebody tell me the difference between partly cloudy and partly sunny? What's up with that? 2,000 acres of what? Natural gas? What's up with that? Okay, we made it to our destination here in Texoma. We drove up from Fort Worth, Texas. Of course, there's always construction going on. We're on some of the side roads trying to get on the main highway, and we saw a sign that says right lane closed ahead, merge left. We got about 500 yards, and then it said left lane closed, merge right. There was nowhere to go. I'd like to meet the idiot that came up with that design. What's up with that?
Here you go, babe.
Oh, off?
Yeah.
What bugs does it propel? Provides long-lasting protection from mosquitoes, ticks, including ticks that cause Lyme disease, biting flies, stable flies, black flies, sand flies, and deer flies. Also repels chiggers, fleas, and gnats. Gnats. They got some buck-teeth gnats here in Texas. Them suckers can bite the crap out of you. What's up with that? You know, I don't understand. I'm trying to catch up on the news, and I'm watching some of these little news clips on YouTube, and you got some of the creators just sitting in the corner down on the bottom, not saying anything. They're just sitting there making faces, not making any comments or anything. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What's up with that? Hey, if your saggy sacks are wet, try some wool dryer balls. What's up with that? BS. Electronic bongos. Not barberware. What's up with that? Okay, we went to Dairy Queen today to get some lunch and some ice cream, and they have the DQ dude, but they don't have any DQ chicks or DQ ladies. What's up with that? Blocking the whole driveway just so they can go in there and get a burger and fries. They don't care about anybody else. What's up with that? Yeah, last time I checked, water runs downhill. How am I supposed to hook up the sewer? Sewer don't run uphill. I need a pump for that. What's up with that? We were just walking by, and I thought this sign said, "Don't feed the old geezer," but it's actually "Don't feed the geese." What's up with that? Does this look like the chicken fajita bowl? I don't know what that is, but it ain't that. I wanted that. I didn't want this. What's up with that? Hello, is this the Daily Planet? Get me Clark. Clark Kent. Right away. They put me on hold. What's up with that? All right, well, they got some dude wipes, but they don't have no saggy sack wipe. What's up with that? It was either a hangover Monday or he started drinking early Friday, but those ain't no straight white lines. What's up with that? Okay, another USPS debacle. Ordered something from Amazon, and as I put the address in, it said it couldn't deliver to a P.O. box, needed a physical address. So I gave it a physical address, and it said it'll be delivered 2 days later. Well, actually today's the third day. The U.S. Post Office site said it was attempted delivery yesterday, couldn't do it. Says come to the post office, it's pickup for available. So today we're at the post office, and it still says pick up at the post office. And now they're telling me it's on the truck out for delivery at the address they said they couldn't deliver to. What's up with that? Great. You know, in my younger years, I'd been right over and picked that up. But as we get older, you start to think about it. Do I really need that or not? What's up with that?
Man, I could smell my chicken wings, honey.
Jen? You can smell your bird underarms? What's up with that? He looks just like me. What's up with that? Okay, so we went on a trip today and we stopped at the donut shop to pick up a couple of apple fritters for breakfast with our coffee. And on the counter, they have mayonnaise packets. Now, what do they use mayonnaise for in a donut shop? What's up with that? Okay, we just went to Taco Bell to get us some Taco Bell lunch. And then on the receipt, it says $500 cash giveaway. Do the survey. See on back. Ain't nothing on the back. What's up with that? Superman is saggy sackless. What's up with that? Okay, I just want to let you all know that there's a new woman ass sizes study out there, and 10% of women think that their ass is too skinny, and 30% of women think their ass is too fat, and 60% of women said they really don't care. He's a good man. They're not going to trade him in for nothing, and they'll keep him anyway. What's up with that?
Well, we just made it to the post office today.
Yep, and they got a now hiring sign because they're short-handed.
Yep.
So I asked them if they were hiring just for today, and she said no. I said, what's up with that? I'm not doing nothing. You know, between 1913 and 1915, you could mail people. Back in that era, there were 7 known documented cases where people would mail their children to family members. It was a lot cheaper to buy stamps and put it on their clothes than it was to buy a train ticket. What's up with that? Merry good Christmas.
What is that?
And a Happy New Year.
Let's see.
Yeah, man, you're doing Christmas without any cheers. Holly, ho, hey, man. Holly, what you doing, man? Holly, it's all a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. They say it's a Christmas. Oh, hey, wow, man. Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, man. Yeah, man, later.
What are you doing?
Look at these yo-yos next door. They got their front wheels about 5-6 inches off of the ground. I mean, these slots aren't that unlevel. I mean, we only have 5-6 inches of travel on our airbags, and we can level on airbags. I mean, they got blocks underneath their landing gear, and they got the tires off the ground. I just don't get it, man. Their level must be a lot different than the one we use. Jiminy. What's up with that? I just put fuel in the truck, and I can't believe they actually have to put this label warning on the pump. What's up with that? A bag of bug nuts. What's up with that? Everything's big in Texas. What's up with that? Can somebody please explain to me why they have tip jars in the drive-thrus? I don't get it. They're getting paid to do their job. Why should I tip them when I'm the one that's got to wait in line and burn fuel? What's up with that?
You making lunch?
Yeah. Pickles. What's up with that?
What's wrong?
Somebody take a bite out of that already?
What?
Looks like somebody took a bite out of that one.
You didn't take a bite out of it?
I didn't touch it. I just got it out of the jar. No wonder it's a great value. They eat what they want and put the rest in there. What's up with that? I ate some beans.
He's got it shoved up his butt. And he's flaming. That's what you call some live beans there. Get her down. Pull the handle, pull the handle.
Not connected to nothing. The torch
Woo, doggy.
All right, I got the munchies. Give me something to eat. What do we got? Ooh. Chicken leg. Got me a chicken leg. I don't know, that's a left leg or right leg.
Just one chicken leg?
That's what it is. I got me a chicken leg, got a chicken leg, got a chicken leg, got a chicken leg. Okay, does this fit on your bathroom roll? Don't fit on ours. What's up with that?
Where's he going?